We're going to dive deep into our feelings and thoughts to discuss something really important: how to stop feeling angry with life. Sometimes life throws us curveballs that can leave us feeling frustrated, disappointed, or downright angry. These challenging moments can test our mental strength and leave us feeling like we've failed. But it's during these crucial times that we have the opportunity to grow and evolve as individuals. It's essential to understand that feeling angry at life isn't something we're stuck with forever. It's a normal reaction to the obstacles we encounter along our journey. However, overcoming these negative emotions and finding inner peace is vital for our mental well-being and personal development. That's why we're here today, to support you on your journey of self-discovery and change. We've carefully selected these wise and uplifting words to help you reflect, gain clarity, and shift your perspective. My wish is that these comforting words will guide you towards acceptance, forgiveness, and gratitude. Holding on to hatred only gives power to those we despise. True strength lies in not letting anything provoke our anger. As we grow older, we realize that getting angry isn't worth it. Anger can make us feel isolated and lead to failure. It's one of the worst emotions we can experience, and patience is our shield against it. Remember, others can't hurt us unless we allow them to. When we believe we're hurt, we are hurt. Shouting about it won't change that. Anger can unleash a storm of tears, both sorrowful and cleansing. Instead of viewing anger as an enemy to battle, let's handle it with love, kindness, and peace. Quick anger often reveals a lack of understanding of our inner resources. It's worse than just wasting time. It drains our energy and focus. I find joy in loving the world, even when it's tough, but it's way too easy to hate everything. Nothing hurts me unless I let it. I have the power to choose not to be affected. I won't let anyone bring me down by making me hate them. Hurting others doesn't make us better. It just shows our own insecurities. What annoys us about others can teach us about ourselves. When we get angry, we stop seeking truth and start protecting ourselves, feeling judged and alone, losing our cool, living with anxiety, and missing the moment. These are all consequences of holding on to anger. Just so you know, it's our own responsibility if we lose our temper. No one else is to blame for how we feel. People don't ask how to prevent anger, they ask how to deal with it when it comes. That means it's not my fault if someone else hurts me. Their actions are not a reflection of mine. The things that make someone angry reveal more about them than about the situation. Anger often speaks loudest when we shut our eyes to reality. Don't let a shout boost your ego. Responding with kindness is the real victory. Remember, if it doesn't harm the community, it shouldn't harm me either. When someone needs correction, getting angry won't help. Instead, we should guide them towards understanding their mistakes. People may say hurtful things, but we have control over how we react. Emotional intelligence means not letting others dictate our thoughts. Perhaps if we learned to love ourselves a bit more, our cruelties and angers would fade away. Insults don't define us. They reveal how the speaker feels about themselves. People who truly understand don't get angry often. Those who boast about their anger usually don't grasp its meaning. A loud threat is a clear sign of powerlessness. It's like wielding a sword that harms both the attacker and the attacked. Smart individuals find everything they need within themselves, while fools see faults in everyone else. Your complaints and frustrations lose their significance when you aim to liberate yourself. Just because you're angry doesn't mean you're right. Choosing to remain calm is the wise decision. Seeking revenge only leads to mutual destruction. Delaying actions is the key to resolving anger. Most conflicts seem significant in the heat of the moment, but become trivial with time. After venting anger, I move forward and focus on constructive actions. Fear exacerbates global issues but offers no solutions. Transforming anger into constructive energy could illuminate the world. Hatred clouds judgment and obstructs foresight. Leaders cannot afford to breed animosity. While anger may initially embolden, it ultimately leads to recklessness. It resides only in the hearts of the foolish. Rational thought dissipates in its presence, revealing vulnerability. Hatred is the root, and anger is its manifestation, a common human frailty. However, directing anger constructively requires wisdom and discernment. People often cling to hatred out of fear of confronting pain, sacrificing happiness in the process. Anger corrodes not only its target, but also the vessel that contains it. Seeking vengeance merely perpetuates a cycle of animosity, whereas forgiveness elevates one above their adversaries. A single letter distinguishes anger from danger. Indulging in retaliation carries its own risks. Before seeking revenge, consider the consequences. Harboring anger only fuels the desire to judge others. Instead of hating your enemies, strive for understanding and resolution. Remember, holding on to anger is like carrying a heavy burden that weighs you down. It consumes your energy and prevents you from experiencing moments of joy and contentment. Every minute spent in anger is a minute lost, a minute that could have been filled with happiness and positivity. Instead of allowing anger to corrode your soul, choose to let go and move forward. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or condoning hurtful actions. It means releasing the grip that anger has on your heart. By forgiving others, you free yourself from the shackles of resentment and bitterness. Ultimately, the path to peace begins with understanding and compassion. Rather than seeking revenge or harboring hatred, strive to cultivate empathy and kindness. In doing so, you'll not only find inner peace, but also contribute to a more harmonious and compassionate world. Getting angry makes you less intelligent. It's best not to dwell on people you dislike. It only adds fuel to the fire. Being upset isn't mandatory. Anger clouds rational thinking. You have the power to choose whether or not to let things hurt you. Often, it's shattered dreams that fuel our anger. Weakness can sometimes lead to outbursts of fierceness. Silence is golden when anger brews. Regret lingers longer than anger ever will. Remember, you're the first casualty of your own anger. Don't stoop to the level of those who provoke you. Consider the consequences before letting anger take the reins. People who easily get upset can be quite bothersome. Take a cue from nature. Patience is key. Hating someone only harms you more than it does them. Instead of dwelling on hate, focus on what you love. You have options: surrender, fight, or simply step back and smile. Those who hate you may secretly admire you. Your true boss is anyone who can stir your anger. Don't let them get to you. Rise above their negativity. Combat anger with love. It's the most potent weapon. Help those in need and confront lies with truth. Anger often sneaks up on us, but awareness can help us manage it better. Work on being present, detached, and calm. Remember, you are more than your fleeting emotions. Fill your life with love, and negativity will dissipate. We all experience negative thoughts and feelings, but we don't have to act on them. Recognize who suffers most from your anger. It's often yourself. Smile at your anger and make peace with it. Acknowledging your anger diminishes its power. Holding on to grudges is pointless and harmful. Smart people let go, while fools cling to anger. Dwelling on the past prevents us from fully experiencing the present. Instead of suppressing negative emotions, acknowledge and learn from them. Small irritations fade away quickly if you don't give them attention. Take a moment to evaluate whether a situation truly warrants a response. By not feeding into minor annoyances, you can maintain peace and clarity. It's essential to recognize that anger often arises from deeper emotions and unresolved issues. By acknowledging and addressing these underlying feelings, we can prevent anger from taking control of our actions and relationships. Practice mindfulness and self-awareness to catch anger before it spirals out of control. Take deep breaths, count to 10, or step away from the situation if needed. By calming the mind, we can respond more thoughtfully and avoid escalating conflicts. Remember that holding on to anger only harms ourselves in the long run. It can lead to stress, resentment, and even health problems. Instead, strive to cultivate forgiveness and compassion, both for others and for yourself. Letting go of grudges allows us to move forward with lighter hearts and clearer minds. Surround yourself with positive influences and cultivate a supportive network of friends and loved ones. Share your feelings and experiences with trusted individuals who can offer guidance and perspective. Building strong connections can help alleviate feelings of anger and isolation. Seek professional help if anger becomes overwhelming or interferes with daily life. Therapy or counseling can provide valuable tools and strategies for managing anger in healthy ways. Remember that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Ultimately, learning to navigate and express our emotions in constructive ways is key to maintaining healthy relationships and overall well-being. By practicing patience, empathy, and self-reflection, we can cultivate a more peaceful and fulfilling life for ourselves and those around us. When you're feeling angry, it's best to avoid making big decisions. Recognize that anger clouds your judgment and makes it difficult to think clearly. Keep in mind that angry people often sacrifice their own well-being just to cause trouble for others. Sometimes, our inability to control anger stems from our attachment to perfection and beauty, so it's okay to accept flaws and imperfections in life. Remind yourself that you might be blaming yourself unfairly for your problems. Instead of going to bed angry, confront your emotions and try to resolve conflicts while staying awake. Remember, the best speeches are not those made in anger. Anger often masks underlying sadness, so try not to compound your stress by reacting angrily to situations that ultimately don't care about your emotions. People sometimes engage in fights simply because they have nothing better to do. It's amusing how some individuals assume you hate them when you hardly even think about them. When you're enraged, it's better to curse than to act impulsively. Take a moment to calm down by counting to 4. Anger often arises from the disparity between reality and our ideals. Those consumed by anger and bitterness tend to forget their origins. Anger is its own punishment. Those who try to harm others with their anger only end up hurting themselves. The 3 poisons, greed, anger, and delusion, are at the root of much suffering. What triggers your anger is less significant than understanding why you're angry in the first place. Being angry isn't a sign of strength. It's a mistake that reveals weakness. Sometimes, anger can be manipulated by others to trap you into making poor decisions. Remember, anger rarely improves situations. It usually exacerbates them. We often remember insults received more than those we've given. The consequences of our anger and pain often outweigh the initial triggers. Anger may feel justified, but it's ultimately a self-destructive behavior for the weak. Instead of seeking revenge or letting anger consume us, it's crucial to cultivate inner strength and resilience. Recognize that anger is a temporary emotion, and it's within our power to choose how we respond to it. Instead of letting anger dictate our actions, we can channel our energy into constructive outlets, such as communication, problem-solving, or seeking support from others. Forgiveness, both for ourselves and for those who have wronged us, can be a powerful antidote to anger. It's not about excusing harmful behavior, but about freeing ourselves from the burden of resentment and moving forward with grace and compassion. Practice self-awareness and emotional regulation techniques to manage anger effectively. This might include deep breathing, meditation, or seeking professional help if needed. By taking proactive steps to address anger, we can prevent it from controlling our lives and relationships. Remember that anger often stems from unmet expectations or unresolved issues. By addressing these underlying factors and adopting a mindset of acceptance and gratitude, we can cultivate inner peace and reduce the frequency and intensity of angry outbursts. Ultimately, cultivating a sense of empathy, understanding, and patience towards ourselves and others can help break the cycle of anger and create a more harmonious and fulfilling life. The more easily someone gets hurt, the less wise they tend to be. People often harbor more hatred when they stray from the truth. Giving in to anger is like sacrificing knowledge. For instance, if you want to understand your anger better, it's better not to judge it but to trust that time will bring clarity. Challenges can obscure our vision of the future, much like bad weather clouds the sky. Some things bother us more than they should, while others bother us before or after they ought to. The wisest individuals prioritize what truly matters, recognizing the limits of their time and energy. The further someone is from understanding others, the more discontent they tend to be with the world around them, yet paradoxically, they may find solace in their own self-assurance. Although anger and violence may appear to provide a surge of energy, they blind us to alternative perspectives. Maintaining a calm mind amidst anger is essential. Otherwise, it obscures our true selves. Focus on resolving problems rather than blaming individuals, and seek solutions instead of making excuses. While angry people may seem to lose battles initially, they often prevail in the long run. True freedom stems from inner goodness, regardless of external circumstances. Conversely, internal corruption leads to enslavement, even for those in positions of power. When anger arises, concentrate on your breath to regain composure. Yelling commands while angry is ineffective. It's better to wait before speaking. When overwhelmed with anger, counting to 100 can help diffuse the intensity. Hatred only weakens us, whereas love for the world brings pride. Anger serves no purpose. Instead, it squanders our emotions. Resorting to violence only leads to trouble. A person consumed by rage is like a rider on a wild horse, and those who constantly fight with others often find themselves isolated. In essence, anger isolates us from others and impedes our ability to connect. Instead of succumbing to anger, let's strive to cultivate understanding and empathy. Recognize that anger is often a response to deeper emotions or unresolved issues. By addressing these underlying concerns with patience and compassion, we can break free from the cycle of anger and foster healthier relationships with ourselves and others. Practice mindfulness and self-awareness to catch anger before it escalates. Take deep breaths, count to 10, or remove yourself from the situation if necessary. By staying calm and composed, we can respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in overcoming anger. It's not about excusing harmful behavior, but about releasing ourselves from the burden of resentment and moving forward with grace and compassion. By letting go of grudges, we can experience greater inner peace and emotional freedom. Seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or professionals can also be beneficial in managing anger. Talking about our feelings and experiences can provide perspective and help us develop healthier coping mechanisms. Ultimately, by practicing empathy, self-awareness, and forgiveness, we can break free from the grip of anger and cultivate a more peaceful and fulfilling life for ourselves and those around us. When you're angry, it's like a short burst of craziness. Anger poisons your own well-being, and anything done in anger is bound to fail. Danger is just a step away from anger. If you're angry about one thing, you'll likely end up being angry about everything. Your biggest enemy is anger, but staying calm is your best defense. No one can hurt you unless you allow them to. The moment you believe you're hurt, you are. Dealing with anger is a choice. Many things in life can trigger anger, but what matters is how you handle it. Personally, I choose not to react. Remember, when truth loses its calm, it becomes an exaggeration. Anger may feel like freedom, but it actually blinds you. Acknowledge your anger, but then move on to something more positive. When you're angry, it can ignite a fire in your heart and cloud your judgment. Holding your temper can save you from days of sadness. Yelling when you're mad doesn't solve anything. It's essential to understand our own darkness before we can empathize with others. An insult doesn't define you. It reveals how the other person feels about themselves. Maybe if we learn to love ourselves a bit more, our anger and cruelty would fade away. Keeping your cool is crucial. Decisions made in rage are never wise. Anger only pollutes the environment when displayed in public. It's okay to feel angry, but wise people don't let it show. Getting angry over trivial matters is a sign of temporary insanity. Uncontrolled anger is often more harmful than the initial hurt. Mastering meditation helps maintain a steady mind amidst chaos, allowing the true self to emerge. Stay true to yourself, even in the face of anger and turmoil. Keep in mind that anger is fleeting, but your true essence remains constant. When you center yourself through meditation, your mind becomes like a steady flame undisturbed by the winds of emotion. In this state of deep reflection, you connect with your inner self and experience a profound sense of peace and joy. As a seeker of truth, focusing on the self by the self leads to a realization of lasting happiness beyond the limitations of the senses. It's in this calm and tranquil state that you discover your true essence and find fulfillment. Stay grounded in your authenticity and remain steadfast in your commitment to self-discovery and inner peace. Despite the challenges and provocations that may arise, remember that true strength lies in maintaining composure and staying true to yourself. At all times you can engage in work, but the focus should be on the act of working itself, not on the rewards it may bring. You shouldn't work solely for the sake of gaining material possessions or status. Also, avoid giving in to laziness. Maintain a dedicated mindset even when faced with challenges. Keep your mind centered on higher principles such as the Supreme Lord as you go about your tasks. Detach yourself from the outcomes of your actions, whether they turn out well or not. This is the essence of practicing yoga, working with inner peace and surrendering the results. Those who work solely for their own benefit often find themselves unhappy. Love, anger, and greed lead to negative outcomes, but letting go of these traits can lead to spiritual growth and salvation. What you believe shapes your identity and determines your path. By cultivating positive beliefs and thoughts, you can manifest your aspirations into reality. Find solace in inner detachment and spiritual understanding rather than worldly pursuits. Each day presents an opportunity for growth, action, and beauty. Live in the present moment, for it holds the key to happiness and hope. By focusing on today, you can transform every day into a source of joy and optimism. When the soul serves its higher purpose without attachment to outcomes, it finds true fulfillment. Like water doesn't affect the lotus flower, performing duties without attachment doesn't alter the essence of the self. Mastery over the mind enables one to remain calm and composed amidst life's challenges, recognize the dual nature of the self, both friend and foe, ever present yet elusive. It is through inner stillness that true understanding is attained. People should strive to progress through their own efforts, rather than relying on external factors. It's important never to underestimate oneself. The self can act as both an ally and an adversary. It is both near and far, within and without, constantly in motion, yet also still. Its subtlety makes it difficult to comprehend fully. When performing tasks without attachment and offering the results to higher principles, one's essence remains unchanged, much like how water doesn't affect the lotus flower. Maintaining composure in all situations, whether pleasant or challenging, is a mark of inner strength. To achieve true fulfillment, it's essential to transcend material desires and find contentment in spiritual understanding. This entails detaching from the outcomes of actions and focusing on serving higher purposes. Each day presents an opportunity for growth, action, and appreciation of life's beauty. By living in the present moment and embracing its possibilities, one can turn every day into a source of happiness and inspiration. Ultimately, by recognizing the dual nature of the self and attaining mastery over the mind, individuals can navigate life's complexities with wisdom and grace. Through inner stillness and detachment, one can uncover profound truths and experience true fulfillment. It's something invisible, but seems to take on various forms. It's known as the creator, protector, and destroyer residing within everyone's heart. Beyond the darkness, it's been referred to as the ultimate source of knowledge and enlightenment. Anger often leads to confusion and illusion, clouding the mind's clarity. Confusion prevents clear thinking, causing one to lose their sense of reason. However, mastering endurance leads to eventual victory. Evil is perceived as unfairness, cruelty, and indifference to others' problems, while virtue encompasses brotherly love, kindness, justice, and concern for others' well-being. A clear mind can be discerned by one's ability to pause and be alone, choosing thoughts wisely to manage stress. It's better to speak only when confident that one's words add value. According to Hellenistic philosophy, true knowledge brings inner peace, with philosophy serving as a means to address human challenges. Various schools of thought, such as the Cynics, Epicureans, Stoics, and Skeptics, each grapple with different issues rooted in societal norms, pleasure-seeking, and false beliefs. Despite their differences, they agree that people suffer due to ignorance, and the key to healing lies in changing value judgments. Simplicity, patience, and keenness hold greater value than material wealth. Learning to be patient with both friends and foes involves accepting things as they are and being compassionate toward oneself and others. Taoism emphasizes living in harmony with the present moment, where divinity and nature converge within us, transcending past and future. The concept of infinity encompasses the ever-changing nature of the universe. Relativity dictates that change is inherent, and adapting to these changes is an art form. Embrace the present moment and find contentment with what you have. When you realize you lack nothing, the world becomes your oyster. See with your own eyes, hear with your own ears, and speak your mind freely without being swayed by others' expectations. Allow your thoughts to flow naturally and don't suppress your senses and instincts. Your well-being suffers when you're unable to think, feel, or act freely. Break free from these limitations to grow and flourish. Be mindful of what you feed your dreams. Nourish them with hope and solutions, not worry and fear. Every problem presents an opportunity for success, Approach challenges with resilience and creativity. Strength should always be accompanied by gentleness. Knowing when to exert force and when to yield is the mark of true strength. The key to happiness lies in accepting and dealing with life's challenges, knowing that better days will come. Address the root cause of issues rather than merely treating the symptoms. Recognize the value of self-awareness. True wisdom comes from understanding oneself. While mastering others may demonstrate strength, mastering oneself is the ultimate form of empowerment. Rigidity leads to breakage, while flexibility ensures survival. Choose your battles wisely. Sometimes surrendering is the path to survival. Trust those who have no vested interests in your affairs. Deep down, you already possess the answers you seek. Trust your instincts and intuition. Life is unpredictable, and resisting change will only bring sorrow. Embrace the natural ebb and flow of life, for therein lies true contentment. Let truth unfold naturally, allowing things to progress freely. Kind words boost confidence, deep thoughts provoke reflection, and acts of kindness foster love between people. Ideas constantly flow within our minds, hindering direct understanding of reality. Attempting to confine truth is futile, akin to trapping wind in a box. It remains elusive. A wise traveler journeys without fixed goals, embracing the journey itself. True respect comes from genuine contentment with oneself, without striving to outdo others. External pressures can disrupt inner peace, causing failures despite skills. True courage lies in inner strength, unaffected by external praise or criticism. Simplicity of thought and depth of heart guide one's actions. Fulfill responsibilities without imposing personal biases, allowing harmony to prevail. Different tasks require different approaches. A beam may break a wall, but not mend a small hole. Nature's diversity dictates each creature's unique abilities. Horses may not excel at rat-catching like cats or weasels. Understanding the natural order means accepting the inherent diversity and balance of the universe. Trying to control everything goes against the natural flow of heaven and earth. True bravery transcends circumstances, allowing fearless expression of one's beliefs. It's about speaking truth regardless of consequences, whether at home or in exile. It's essential to recognize the limits of our influence and understand the intricacies of the world. Attempting to impose control over everything goes against the fundamental principles of nature. Just as we cannot teach heaven or earth, we cannot fully dictate the course of events. The universe operates according to its own laws, beyond our comprehension or manipulation. True bravery lies in accepting this reality and navigating it with humility and wisdom. It's about aligning our actions with the natural order rather than trying to bend it to our will. Embrace the diversity and complexity of existence and find courage in surrendering to the flow of life. By letting go of the need to control, we can discover a deeper sense of peace and harmony within ourselves and with the world around us. Philosophy doesn't promise to give you anything external, whether you're at home or away. It's like a builder using wood or an artist using metal. It works with the essence of life itself. To live happily, we should heed the wise teachings of philosophers, focusing on practical lessons rather than lofty rhetoric. Nothing disappoints more than someone who studies philosophy but lives contrary to its principles. How we navigate life matters more than what we face. Our decisions shape our reality. Distinguishing between what we can control and what we can't is crucial for inner peace. Often we fear what we imagine more than what truly happens, causing unnecessary suffering. Mastering oneself is the key to mastering the world. Dwelling on problems only amplifies them. We can't control external events, but we can control our reactions. acting with integrity means speaking truthfully and treating even enemies with respect. To understand ourselves, we must let go of preconceptions and listen more than we speak. Don't let obstacles hinder progress. Turn them into opportunities. And above all, never make promises you can't keep. To truly understand philosophy, one must live by its principles, not just study them. It's about embodying wisdom in our actions, not just in our words. The essence of philosophy lies in practical application, not in theoretical debates. We often fear the unknown more than what actually occurs, causing unnecessary distress. By mastering our own thoughts and reactions, we gain strength and resilience. Don't dwell on problems. Instead, focus on finding solutions and adapting to challenges. Living with integrity means being truthful and honorable, even in difficult situations. Listening attentively and speaking thoughtfully are keys to understanding others and ourselves. Instead of letting obstacles hinder us, we should use them as opportunities for growth. Ultimately, living a philosophical life means aligning our actions with our beliefs and treating others with kindness and respect. It's not just about what we know, but how we choose to live each day. Only certain individuals can afford the costly luxury of anger. It's essential not to make promises you can't keep. When angered, refrain from speaking impulsively, as words spoken in anger can't be taken back. Personally, when I feel angry, I focus on moving forward and addressing the issue at hand, rather than dwelling on it. Anger can be destructive, corroding one's inner being. While some see hate as a weapon against those who've wronged us, it ultimately harms us more than them. It's like acid, eating away at our peace of mind and damaging us from within. Maintaining a bad mood only leads to foolish actions and wasted time. Love surpasses anger, and hope is superior to fear. To make the world a better place, let's embrace love, hope, and positivity. Anger extinguishes the flames of the mind, leading to trouble and regrets. Angry individuals should avoid fixating on things beyond their control. Reflecting on my past, I realized that acting out of anger and hatred only led to regret and isolation. Hatred, anger, and fear stem from the same source, often tempting with false promises of love. Instead of yielding to anger, it's more healing to shed tears. I've never viewed anger as a potent emotion. Rather, it's a destructive force that damages relationships and undermines personal well-being. It's crucial to understand that anger doesn't empower us, it weakens us. Acting out of anger often results in negative consequences, such as losing friendships and causing pain to others. Anger may seem strong at first, but it ultimately leads us down a dark path. Choosing to respond with tears instead of anger is a sign of strength, as tears have the power to heal the heart and soul. In contrast, anger only deepens wounds and perpetuates suffering. Instead of succumbing to anger's allure, we should strive to cultivate love, empathy, and understanding in our interactions with others. Ultimately, anger is a destructive force that erodes our inner peace and damages our relationships. By choosing to respond with patience, compassion, and forgiveness, we can break free from anger's grip and foster harmony and positivity in our lives. It's important to recognize that life isn't just about being happy all the time. The full spectrum of human emotions, including sadness, hurt, and anger, is part of the human experience. Anger, in particular, serves a purpose, as it's ingrained in our DNA to help us survive. However, unchecked anger can also be harmful, even if it feels justified. When someone is angry, it reveals a lot about them and their inner struggles. It's crucial not to dismiss what an angry person says, because their words often reflect deeper issues. Holding on to anger only allows other people's mistakes to continue hurting us, Worrying about the future is futile because we have the same capacity to handle it as we do the present. Even smart people face hardships such as illness, loss, or adversity, but they find ways to endure and persevere. In the face of challenges, it's essential to maintain a wise perspective. Fools may succumb to fear and perceive threats as more significant than they are, while the wise remain steadfast in their beliefs, recognizing that fear often distorts reality. Life is akin to a prolonged battle with various fronts, requiring us to be vigilant and adaptable. Embracing our roles with a soldier's discipline ensures we navigate life's challenges effectively. Ultimately, rather than trying to control outcomes, it's about finding peace in accepting what life brings our way. Life is much more than just joy. Human life includes the full spectrum of emotions, including sadness, hurt, and anger. Anger can be helpful, as it's ingrained in our DNA to aid survival. But uncontrolled anger can also be harmful, even when justified. When someone is angry, it reveals a lot about them and their inner struggles. It's crucial not to dismiss what an angry person says, as the things that provoke anger can provide significant insight into their character. Allowing other people's mistakes to affect us with anger means letting them control our emotions. Worrying about the future is futile because we possess the same capabilities to handle it as we do the present. Bad things happen to smart people too. They may face physical injuries, illness, loss of loved ones, or societal upheaval. Their sensitivity to these issues doesn't indicate weakness, but rather an acknowledgement of life's challenges. Understanding that life is akin to a battle requiring us to be vigilant is crucial. We need to stand firm and fulfill our roles, whether as a guard, a scout, or a frontline soldier. Life's challenges persist over the long term, and trying to force outcomes is counterproductive. Instead of trying to control things, let them unfold naturally. The key is to distinguish between what I can and cannot control. This way, I can focus on what's within my power and accept the rest. Seeking virtue for its own sake, without being swayed by fear or hope, brings true happiness. What matters most is how I respond to life's challenges. By understanding my own abilities and limitations, I can navigate through difficulties with grace. It's essential to focus on what I can control and leave the rest to fate. It's not external events that trouble us, but rather our interpretations and beliefs about them. Those who lack proper guidance may blame others for their problems, while those who understand themselves take responsibility for their actions. To live a fulfilling life, I must embrace the inevitable and find contentment within myself. My happiness depends on my inner virtues, not external circumstances. Every day, I strive to embody self-discipline and gratitude, knowing that true happiness stems from living in alignment with my values. I refuse to let negative emotions control my life. Instead, I focus on detaching myself from material possessions. Inner peace is my constant companion, and I prioritize living in the present moment. I embrace life's changes with resilience, finding strength in adversity. I don't dwell on things beyond my control, and my happiness isn't swayed by others' opinions. I strive to harmonize with nature's rhythms and evaluate myself honestly. Simplicity brings me joy, and I bounce back from setbacks with humility. I appreciate the beauty of nature and practice moderation in all aspects of life. My inner peace remains unshaken, and I am grateful for every experience. Fear holds no sway over me, and I cherish life's simple pleasures without regrets. Reason guides my actions, and I prioritize what truly matters to me. Living in the present, I accept death as a natural part of life. Everyday simplicity brings me happiness, and I am constantly learning from Stoic philosophy. Willpower and self-discipline are my tools for overcoming challenges. Mental calmness aids in self-discovery, and gratitude shapes my perspective on life. I don't cling to external achievements. Instead, honesty and simplicity lead me to serenity. Even amidst chaos, I find joy in lifelong learning and remain grateful for life's blessings. My mind is my greatest asset in the pursuit of virtue. Understanding comes from both action and reflection, and it connects me to others. I find peace by accepting what I cannot change and by mastering self-control. Hard work and dedication define my responsibilities, and my worth stems from recognizing my own value. Flexibility makes me resilient, while courage helps me confront fears. Serenity is my chosen state of mind, and I face doubts with calmness. Pursuing virtue means acknowledging what I cannot alter and striving to better what I can. Acceptance of life's inevitable events brings me peace, and my happiness hinges solely on my internal state. Acting virtuously guides my actions, and I focus on my response rather than external circumstances. My life is guided by my principles and beliefs, and I approach problems as opportunities for growth. True happiness, I understand, comes from living virtuously. I cultivate self-discipline through simplicity and gratitude. Letting go of material possessions and appreciating nature keep negative emotions at bay. Reason guides me in all aspects of life, and I refuse to be controlled by fear. Embracing life as it is, I endure challenges with patience. Simple joys bring me contentment, and I prioritize self-improvement over external distractions. Stoicism is a constant source of learning, and my willpower helps me navigate tough times. Self-discipline is ingrained in every aspect of my life, and I cherish mental tranquility. Self-reflection fosters self-awareness, and gratitude transforms my outlook. My life's purpose is to align with the pursuit of virtue and find beauty in the journey. Living in harmony with virtue means embracing the wisdom found in both action and reflection. It fosters a connection with others and cultivates inner peace by accepting what cannot be changed and mastering self-control. My responsibilities are met with diligence and dedication, and my self-worth is anchored in recognizing my inherent value. Resilience is nurtured through flexibility, while courage empowers me to confront fears head-on. Serenity becomes my chosen state of being, allowing me to face doubts with equanimity. Pursuing virtue involves acknowledging the limits of my control and striving to improve what I can. Finding peace lies in accepting life's inevitable events, with my happiness resting solely on my internal state. Acting virtuously guides my decisions, focusing on my response rather than external circumstances. I adhere to my principles and beliefs, viewing challenges as opportunities for personal growth. True happiness, I believe, emerges from living a virtuous life. I cultivate self-discipline through simplicity and gratitude, detaching from material possessions and finding solace in the beauty of nature. Reason serves as my compass in navigating life's complexities, freeing me from the grip of fear. Embracing life in its entirety, I endure challenges with patience, finding contentment in life's simple pleasures and prioritizing self-improvement over worldly distractions. Stoicism remains a constant source of learning, and my resilience is fortified by unwavering willpower. Self-discipline permeates every aspect of my existence, fostering mental tranquility and self-awareness through reflective practice. Gratitude shapes my perspective, allowing me to find beauty in the pursuit of virtue, which is the essence of my life's purpose. Every day, I strive to improve myself, keeping my desires and emotions in check. I take full responsibility for my actions, focusing on my deeds rather than their outcomes. Challenges only make me stronger, and I treasure my inner peace above all else. Guided by wisdom, every decision I make is deliberate and meaningful. Compassion and empathy are fundamental values to me, as is a commitment to justice and fairness. I embrace life's inevitable changes with a calm spirit, living fully in the present moment while acknowledging the natural cycle of life and death. Integrity defines my moral compass, and my character is shaped by my inner qualities rather than external possessions. Resilience and willpower empower me to tackle any task and enact positive change within myself. I cherish friendships deeply, approaching decisions and opinions with wisdom and care. Self-discipline permeates every aspect of my life, and I view challenges as opportunities for personal growth. Continuous self-reflection propels me forward, while restraint ensures that my life remains balanced. Peace of mind comes from accepting the present moment and recognizing the value of life, even in the face of death. Patience is my ally, bringing tranquility amidst life's uncertainties, and honesty serves as my moral compass, guiding my actions and shaping my character. Ultimately, it is my inner qualities, not material possessions, that define who I am.